Hey, my team sucks. So I feel like I have like a good idea of how to pick good and bad teams. Let's find out on week 7. What is up, football fans? It's that time of the week where I talk about everyone else but my team. Because, like I said, team's not good. So let's talk about everyone else's flip-flapping team. So I'm going to be using Sleeper, the sponsor. Go check them out. Use the promo code DDW. You get 100% up to $100. Also, you get a free $20 entry. No deposit needed. Go check it out. Click the link in the description. So as you can see here, this is what we're using. This is what the app looks like, right? Real quick, you want to come over here, you see the picks, you see the free $20 entry. Boom, you just hit use. Super easy, but I come over here, go into my Pick'em League. Last week, I didn't do well. 9-6. Because there was games that you thought should be won that weren't, like the Eagles, the Cowboys, the Bills, the Lions, Washington. Those are games again where I'm like, hey, they should win, but they don't. So now we're on to week 7. Today we have a game, Thursday Night Football. We're going to jump right into it. Bing, bang, boom. How's your mom doing? Tell her I said, hey. You got the 4-1 Pittsburgh Steelers giving 5.5, taking on Cincinnati. Shouldn't be that hard of a pick, even giving 5.5. Cincinnati gave a fight last week against Green Bay, but in the end of the day, Cincinnati's still not a good football team. Pittsburgh coming off a bye. I expect them to be doing much better. There's that. Then we have, I think this is in London. I know the Dolphins play in Madrid. Everyone else is kind of just at the wayside. LA taking on the Jaguars. I like LA on this. They're giving 2.5. So even with that 2.5, I'm going to take LA. Jacksonville, like I showed you last week, lost to Seattle. I was feeling them. I was like, hey, man, Jacksonville's doing pretty well. I'm going to stick with them. I think they can continue this hot trend. Nope, not at all. So I'm going to stick with the hot hand in the Rams. I like the way Stafford's playing. I like the way the team's playing. They're not going to be with Puka Nacua, and I know this because he's on my fantasy team, and I'm a fantasy jinx, but I still think with Devontae Adams and everything else they got, I like the Rams, especially with that defense. Then we have our first Monday game at 1 o'clock. We have the Saints heading to Chicago to take on the Bears. And the Bears are only given 4.5. Now, the Saints have been productive. The Saints have been putting up fights, which is good because it means that they are playing for their head coach. But I like the way Chicago's playing. I like the way I saw them play against Washington. Caleb Williams is really playing much better as the season's going on. Giving 4.5, I still take Chicago. I think they win by a touchdown. And then we have the Miami Dolphins heading to Cleveland to take on the Browns. I call this the hot seat bowl because to me, whichever team loses out of these two, the head coach is probably going to get fired. Cleveland's giving 2.5. Doesn't bode well for Miami. It kind of bodes well for Miami because normally you give 3, the home team. So I guess if you want to know my pick, watch tomorrow's video for that one. But that's all I'm going to say. We have the Raiders heading to Kansas City to take on the Chiefs. The Chiefs are giving 12.5. It opened up at 10.5. I'm going with the Chiefs, even though the refs really gave them that Lions game. Like, 0 penalties for the Chiefs, and then you wait like a minute 45 to call the flag on Goff for illegal motion. It was just real bias. Like, holy moly. I'm going the Chiefs, but with the spread of 12.5, I'm going with the Raiders. I think it's going to be closer than people expect. Again, the way the NFL has been playing out this year, you think that teams are like, oh, they're going to get beat bad and blah, blah, blah. And we'll talk about some of those games. But no, this is probably going to be closer. It might even be like a 10-point win for Kansas City. So again, that 12.5, I would take the Raiders with that one. Then we have the Philadelphia Eagles taking on Minnesota. Philadelphia struggle bus city. Back-to-back losses. A little crazy, especially losing to the Giants and Scatabo and Jackson Dart, taking on Minnesota, who, again, J.J. McCarthy, I don't think he's playing. I think they're going to go with Carson Wentz again. Going to be interesting to see how all of that pans out. I'm going with Philly in this one. I think they turn this around. But Minnesota defense is real good. I like the way Minnesota's defense is playing. But I'm going to go with Philly. I'm going to stick with that one. Then we have the Panthers taking on the Jets. And the Panthers, of all teams, 3-3. They were 0-3 at one point. 3-3 Panthers. Were they 0-3? No, they were 0-2. And then they were 1-2. And then they faced the Dolphins. 1-3, they faced the Dolphins. Giving points to the Jets, who have not won a game. Could this be the game that the New York Jets win? Now, I don't know if Hubbard is playing, but you have Rico, who's doing fantastic. Obviously, you can't really judge him against the two defenses he played. I think the Jets are a little bit better. I'm picking the Jets. I think the Jets win this one. I think they get their first victory. And then I think next week they play Cleveland. So they have the potential to go on a little bit of a winning streak here. So it's going to be interesting. Then we have the New England Patriots giving 7.5, taking on the Tennessee Titans. I'm just going to, Vrabel's facing his old team, Tennessee, New England's riding high, beating the Bills, and then the Bills losing, and now they're first place in the East. And, Patriot fans are feeling themselves. Drake May's playing well. We're back. We're going to take back. Hey, I think they win this one. I think they go on a little bit of a win. You look at the rest of their schedule. I think they're a 5-win team. I think they very easily can get to 12-5, 11-6. But I don't see them winning the division. I think Buffalo is going to still pull a Buffalo. But yeah, I take New England in that one. Then we have the Giants taking on the Broncos. The Broncos are giving 7.5. I'm going with Denver. West Coast trip for the New York Giants. West Coast-ish trip for the Giants. I still think it's a close game, so that's 7.5. I would take the Giants. But I think Jackson Dart and Scatabo are going to be playing a very good defense with the Denver Broncos. I think they're going to have a little bit of a trouble there. I'm taking the Denver Broncos. Then we have the Indianapolis Colts taking on the Chargers. Close game. Chargers only given 1.5. Chargers are still super banged up. You look at who Indy beat, and they're not good teams. It's kind of the same situation with Buffalo. I'm going with the Chargers in this one. Again, another East Coast team heading West Coast. And I think Justin Herbert is going to do his thing. And I think they're going to win this game. And obviously it's only 1.5, so it's going to be a straight up situation. Then we have the Green Bay Packers, 6.5, giving to Arizona, the home team. I'm going to stick with Green Bay. I like the way Green Bay's playing, 3-1-1. That tie, craziness. Arizona puts up fights. They put up a fight against Indy, and they've been putting up fights, but I think Green Bay's a little bit better. I would actually go with Arizona with that 6.5, but straight up, I'm going with the Green Bay Packers. Then we have the Washington Commanders giving 1.5, taking on Dallas. I'm going with Washington. I think it was a very close game against Chicago. Dallas is their defense is struggling, man. They really are struggling. So I think it'll be a close game, but I'm going to go with Washington in this one. I think they're the better team, even though they kind of had the same record, 3-3, and then one's 2-3-1, because again, they tied. Atlanta taking on San Fran. San Fran's giving 2.5. I'm going with Atlanta. I like the way Atlanta's defense is playing. Michael Penix is playing well. Bijan is playing well. San Fran is beat up. With Warner being hurt, that's why I'm leaning towards Atlanta. I think Bijan is going to be running hard. I like the way Atlanta's defense is playing, and that is why I pick that one. Then we have Tampa Bay heading to Detroit, taking on the Lions. Detroit's giving 5.5. I'm sticking with Tampa Bay. I'm sticking with Baker Mayfield, who is doing fantastic and doing a ton of things with nothing. This is, again, another doubleheader Monday night game. And Detroit is banged up as well. A lot of people are picking Detroit, as you can see, 69% on the app, and they're giving 5.5. I like Tampa in this one. But it wouldn't surprise me if Detroit won, but I like Tampa. And then we have Houston taking on Seattle. Seattle's giving 3.5. I'm picking Seattle. I like this one. I like the way Seattle's playing. They're playing really well, 4-2. It's going to be a good game. It's going to be a very good game. Second Monday night game, or as our Spanish announcer says, Monday Night Football. If you don't know about that, go look up the Spanish announcer for Monday Night Football and how he announces it. It is the best thing ever. But those are my picks for week 7. Let me know what you think. Again, if you want to know who I'm taking for the Dolphins Browns, be sure to check out tomorrow's video. Got a whole breakdown, going to talk about what the Dolphins need to do if they want to win this game. If they don't win this game, then I'm going to start talking about who they're going to trades and all that stuff. Will McDaniel be fired? A lot of things to talk about. But yeah, comment below. Let me know what you guys think. I'll see you tomorrow. But like usual, stay classy. Effins up.